If you've ever tried to build a serious AI coding agent, you already know the dirty secret. You spend the first 2 weeks not on anything clever. You spend it rebuilding the exact same plumbing everyone else rebuilds: planning, file access, context handling, sub agents. You wire it all together from scratch every single time. This week, LangChain open sourced something that hands you all of that upfront. It's called Deep Agents. It's MIT licensed. It already has more than 25,000 stars on GitHub, and it ships with a terminal coding agent that works with literally any model you want. Let me show you why this matters and the mental model that makes it click. Here's the thing almost nobody says out loud. Every capable coding agent, Claude Code, Cursor, the one your team is quietly building, is made of the same handful of parts: a way to plan work, a way to read, write, and edit files, a way to manage context so long tasks don't blow up, a way to spin off subagents, a way to call tools, and a way to let a human approve the risky steps. That together is called the harness. And the painful truth is that most agent projects spend their first month re implementing that harness before they write a single line of the thing that's actually theirs. So let's actually name the parts, because this is the mental model that pays off forever. Think of a coding agent as 6 primitives. 1. Planning. The agent breaks a big task into steps and tracks them. 2. A file system, so it can read, write, edit, and search, whether that's your local disk, a sandbox, or a remote backend. 3. Context management, summarizing long threads and offloading bulky tool output to disk so the model doesn't choke. 4. Subagents, each running in its own isolated context window, so one messy task doesn't pollute the others. 5. Human in the loop, where you choose which tool calls get gated for your approval. And 6. Tools. Bring your own functions or plug in any MCP server, plus shell access inside a sandbox. Get those 6 right, and you have a real agent. Get any of them wrong, and it falls apart on the first hard task. Now, here's what LangChain actually shipped. Deep Agents gives you all 6 of those primitives out of the box. They call it the batteries included agent harness. It's open source, MIT licensed, written in Python, and as I'm recording this, it's sitting at over 25,000 stars on GitHub. On top of it sits Deep Agents Code, a command line coding agent that lives in your terminal, exactly like Claude Code or Cursor. One install line and you're running. And the README is refreshingly honest about it. It says it's inspired by Claude Code and it's trying to push that idea further. And this is the part I want to burn into your brain, because it flips how you build. The old way is additive. You start with nothing, and you wire each piece together by hand, hoping they fit. Deep Agents is subtractive. You start from a complete working agent and you trim down. Don't want their file system? Swap it. Want to gate fewer tool calls? Loosen it. Need your own tools? Drop them in. You're sculpting away from a working setup instead of gluing toward one. That difference, wiring up versus trimming down, is the difference between shipping this month and shipping this quarter. It's worth knowing what's under the hood, because it isn't magic. Deep Agents sits on top of LangChain's create agent function, which itself sits on LangGraph, their battle-tested graph runtime for production. Same pieces a lot of people already use, just with far more opinionated defaults baked in. So you're not betting on a brand new foundation. You're getting a sharper, pre-configured layer on top of infrastructure that already runs in production at scale. Quick, honest interruption. If you're finding this useful, the vast majority of people watching right now haven't subscribed yet. If you want more breakdowns like this, AI engineering made actually practical, tap subscribe and follow me on Instagram and Facebook too. All the links are in the description. Okay, back to the best part. Because here's the payoff that makes all of this worth your time. Deep agents code can be pointed at whatever model you want. A frontier API like Claude, GPT, or Gemini. An open weight model running on a provider like Fireworks. Or something fully local on your own machine through Ollama or vLLM. Think about what that unlocks. You can run a Claude Code style agent on a model with zero per token cost. You can keep sensitive code on a machine that never touches the cloud. And you are never locked to a single vendor's roadmap or pricing. That is the real headline here. A capable terminal coding agent, decoupled from any one model. Now, let me be straight with you because hype helps no one. This does not make Claude Code obsolete, and it isn't trying to. Claude Code is purpose built and tuned for Claude. And that tight integration shows up as polish and reliability you feel every day. Deep Agents trades a little of that Claude specific tuning for something different. Total flexibility. So here's the honest split. If you live inside the Claude ecosystem and want the most refined experience, Claude Code is fantastic, and I'd still reach for it. If you need to run on open or local models, isolate work in your own sandboxes, or serve many users with per user isolation, Deep Agents is built for exactly that. Different tools, different jobs. And getting started is genuinely a one-liner. You install Deep Agents code with a single curl command, you point it at the model you want, and you're inside a working coding agent in your terminal. From there, you give it a task in plain English, you decide which steps you want to approve, and you let it plan, edit files, run the shell, and check its own work. If you've ever used Claude Code, the muscle memory transfers almost completely. So that's Deep Agents. The 6 primitives every coding agent needs, handed to you upfront. So you trim down instead of wire up on any model you choose. If this was valuable, do me a favor and subscribe. It genuinely helps the channel. And follow along on Instagram and Facebook too. I've also put together a free one-page agent harness blueprint. The 6 primitives plus a simple Deep Agents versus Claude Code decision table. Just comment the word trim and I'll send it straight to you. And if you want to get properly hands-on, my beginner's guide to Claude Code gets you productive fast. And I've got beginner guides for Codex, for Claude in Sales, and a Claude Certified Architect Prep Kit too, all linked in the description. I'm Hyperautomation Labs. I'll see you in the next one.